All right, so welcome all together to our today's webinar of the GMG Academy. I guess nearly everybody arrived right now here in the digital room, so we can start. Our today's topic is spot colors in Photoshop with GMG ColorPlugin. So, as the title already says, it's about spot color handling for images in Photoshop, different kind of spot color handling. So replace CMYK parts or directly convert from RGB to a ECG setup. That will be the main topic of today. And the next 30 minutes will give you a very good overview of our tool GMG ColorPlugin here. My name is Johannes Betz. There will be a small introduction following in some seconds. One or two organizational points for those of you which arrived right now. So that session will be recorded, so you can watch it also afterwards. You will receive in the follow-up email tomorrow a link which you can share also with colleagues and so on. Although if you have questions, may you recognize you muted because we are too much attendees. So you can ask questions during the session in the chat window on your right hand side normally of the screen, and I will consider that at the end of the session. So far so good. So let's go into the topic. We have a lot to do in the next 30 minutes. So for those of you who may not so familiar, what is GMG doing? So there's some facts about GMG. We are a software solution developer regarding proofing and color management solutions. So everything what has to do with colors, brand colors on packaging, and also illustration is our topic. And we are doing that now for more than 30 years. So we have also more than 12,000 installations, and our systems are certified after different printing standards in the industry. So regarding the different ISO norms or the FOCRA, for example. We have always a continuous expansion development. So our plugin is also quite, very innovative new product, what I want to show you today. And we have our academy training centers, which are you participating now free webinar today. So that's the key factors in less than 1 minute about GMG. And as said, my name is Johannes Betz. I'm responsible here for all our training activities. So I'm here with GMG since 2016 and in the graphical industry much longer, since 2006. So before I've very strongly been in the packaging printing industry and flexo printing. So that leads me also to my specials here, packaging printing and of course spot color handling. And yeah, in the past it was always a mess to really use spot colors in images in Photoshop and to convert them into the right output condition and reach the customer's target. So that's what is now really solved with our GMG Color plugin. All right, so that's so much to my person and GMG. Quickly go into the topic. So before I want to show you the plugin really live in Photoshop, I quickly want to mention why to use spot colors in images. So what are really the reasons to have the spot colors also in pixel-based objects? What is the challenge having spot colors in Photoshop normally? And which possibilities do we have with the color plugin? The different possibilities I will directly show in different live demo sessions later on after a small theory session in the first maximum 10 minutes. So why to use spot colors also in images? So we are used to have them in logos, in graphics and so on, but what's the reason to have them also in images? First thing is, of course, may you have a brand color, for example, or some, like here the blue, and you also want to use that, for example, to mix up that color of the violet cups here, or you have the violet as brand color, and you also want to use it in the image parts, so that you have your special brand color also on your product or on the image on your package. So brand colors is one reason, and of course, it also supplies a better color accuracy and process stability over different printing techniques. This counts also for big areas like the background and logos, but also for images. So the cups here and over there will be made more stable printed when you use spot colors here. And also saturation is one topic why spot colors are also used in images. So when I have also already spot colors on my printing press setup, why not using them also in the images to create more saturation? So as this should be a very interactive webinar, at this point I want to ask you a question. So I enroll now a question for you where I want to know. Let's see, here we go. So why do you use spot colors in images, or may your suppliers or customers, what do you think? Why do we use mostly spot colors also in images? Is it because we have the brand color, so it's more eye-catching, it's color fidelity over different products, it's more saturation, or it's process control? You have multiple choice, you can choose more than once. So yeah, make your decision and we will see what is your main focus, or what do you think, what is the main focus of the guys who decide to use spot colors also in images? The main topic. So we are now at 68, no, 72% have voted. So I want to close it and share with you the result. So 57% says brand colors, eye catcher is the main point, and 56 says process control stability during different printing productions, 39, 38 more saturation and color fidelity. So yeah, it's nearly the same as we received this morning in the German session. So most important things are brand colors and the process control. So yeah, thank you for participating, and let's go on in the topic. So what's really the challenge when you have spot colors and images, or you want to reproduce or separate CMYK or RGB images, inclusive spot colors in Photoshop? Where is the big topic here? Firstly, to convert CMYK objects into spot color channels manually in Photoshop is very complex and time consuming. That means to know how you can do that is not that easy. Also, when you want to really reach the color target from your customer. So that's really time consuming because you have to print out a hard copy proof, check it against the reference from the customer, make corrections in Photoshop, and so on. That's need a lot of time. So it's hard to reach customer's target, and because the print buyer, he wants to have a color match. And this is because Photoshop is not made for that use case. So Adobe not focusing here so much on the spot color and packaging business. So there are no tools for conversion, for example, and also no accurate preview of spot colors. And I would say that's the biggest aim here, no accurate preview. So you can't really see on your monitor how the spot colors will be printed later. Also, there is no standard training material on the market yet, which shows you how to do this manually in Photoshop. So a lot of work and not that easy to do. So the biggest point is time consuming. So it needs a lot of time until you do that manually. So next question for you, for the audience, what do you think? How much time is usually needed to convert a CMYK or RGB image into a spot colored image color correctly so that you reach the reference from the customer? So the reference is important. And what do you think? Is it 1 to 10 minutes, 10 to 30 minutes, 30 to 60, or 1 hour to 2 hours, or maybe also 2 hours and more? So what do you think? How big is the effort to convert images into spot color channels? So nearly everybody has voted, and I close again and share with you the result. So most of you think it's between 30 and 60 minutes to reseparate image, and 24 10 to 30, and 21 1 hour to 2. So yeah, it's until 1 hour approximately like this. It's also what we've seen in the industry. So 1 hour for one image until it's converted when you want to include spot colors. So what are the possibilities with our plugin right now? So may you heard already from it or saw it previously in other sessions. you have the possibility, of course, to convert now CMYK images into a multicolor image. So you can replace CMYK with spot color channels. For example, instead of the cyan, you can have a blue, or you can also have a violet or whatever. You can really replace CMYK channels with spot colors, or also extend it if you want. Then the next new function we have is a directly conversion now from RGB to an ECG process. For those of you who are not familiar with what is ECG, it's having a fixed color set on your printing press. So normally in packaging, you change the spot colors for each job, but for ECG or fixed color palette printing, it's fixed, and you have more than just CMYK, also adding orange, violet, and green, for example, to having a wider gamut and reproduce more spot colors. And now we have that possibilities also in Photoshop. You can convert directly from RGB to ECG. So those two cases we will directly see. Also, of course, the soft proof function, so you can really see on your monitor, inclusive spot colors, how it will look later like in your real printing condition with the real print substrate, and all the impacts you have on the color appearance. And of course, we have the flexo tools inclusive. That means you can also adjust the min dot and see where our min dot problems are. And at all, you have GMG technology within Photoshop. So our MX profile. So if you noted already from proofing, you have it in Photoshop. And at the end, you have also the same data source for proofing and conversion. What does that mean? To convert from CMYK into a multicolor image or from a RGB into an ECG image, there has to be, of course, color profiles. That color profiles come from GMG OpenColor. That's our profiling solution in the background. Herein, all information is stored regarding your printing conditions. So on your flexo process, on a plastic film, transparent, white coated, reverse print, it's all storaged here. And you use it for proofing on the one side. So it makes the proof profile, goes to color proof, you add in PDF your job, and you have your hard proof at the end. On the other side, you use the same database also to create separation profiles for example, the GMG ColorPlugin. There's also other options, but today we want to focus on the conversion of images, and therefore the separation profiles are requested from the plugin from OpenColor to convert images. So we have firstly the GMG channel extender. That's what we mentioned before. So it's a conversion from an RGB image into a 5, 6, or 7C image, depending on which colors you want to use. It has to be an image CMYK plus some of the extending images. It has to build a complete gamut. You can use a color boost function we will see in some seconds, a preview, and you have also work preview. We will see that directly into Photoshop. Often there is the question, why are from RGB? I want to show you why from RGB. So let's start here, for example, with the blueberries. Here we have a sRGB image from the photographer. Of course, normally the agency converts into ISO-coded CMYK because they know it's for printing, but they don't know for which process. And now you have a Flexo ECG process, for example, which can print much wider gamut in that area, but still the image is not that saturated and colorful as your RGB image because the target right now is ISO-coded. If you convert directly from RGB, of course your target is sRGB, and of course you are not as saturated and colorful as an RGB color space, but more than over the ISO-coded area here. So that's the big advantage of converting directly from sRGB into a 7C process. But enough slides over here. Let's switch into Photoshop. I want to show you directly on that image here how the channel extender works. So you receive or you have an RGB image. Also, you can convert from a CMYK image back to an RGB image to use the channel extender at that state. So that's the GMG ColorPlugin for those of you which seeing it the first time. It has to be connected to GMG OpenColor. So OpenColor, what you can see is here is running in the background. To explain OpenColor, that will be too much for that half an hour. But it has to be connected. So when you go here on setting, it has to be connected to your OpenColor instance. So for that functions, what we want to see mostly today, you have to have also an OpenColor connection. So then we go here on channel extender, and directly, this is now the communication window. We see here sRGB is our source color space. It's taken from the image. And then we have here our GMG OpenColor projects. Could be different kind of ECG projects we have here, and we have maybe different profile variants. So tag value can be variates between different projects, and also you can decide where the orange, green, violet should come in to separation. Interesting here is you already have now a preview. That means you can switch off. So we see now the RGB impression and switch on what is now still an RGB image, but we see how it will be printed with the paper tint later in our output condition. Also, you can directly boost a bit here the color. So maybe you say, okay, I want to boost the complete image. Hopefully you see it also on your screen, and you can see what will happen if I switch on and off, for example, the orange. So without orange and with orange in my later print production. So that's the reason why here violet is deactivated, because violet there is no really change. So we can leave the violet here, and the green is a bit in the background of the leaves, of the green leaves, where there is an impact here. So now we can directly convert, or what else we can do is having the work preview. The work preview means, as you can see here, it's now our GMG preview of the ECG project, but you can still use all the Photoshop inbuilt functions. So you can go here on vibrance, for example, and play around with the saturation. Maybe you only want to use that in your orange elements, and go again here on vibrance, a bit of more saturation only for the oranges. So because we really want to have a much saturated image here. And yeah, when we finish, then we can go back again on the channel extender. We have our channels, we have the right project. Again, we can check the impact of the orange that you see. And now we convert from that RGB image directly into that 6th colored image. So it takes some seconds. The profile is taken from OpenColor. And now when you look here on the right-hand side on channels, you see, okay, there's still CMYK, and there is orange and green also within the image. As said, Photoshop cannot show spot colors properly. So that's the reason why we added here the OpenColor preview. The OpenColor preview, you also have to select your correct project. So here we have orange, green, violet, the sample project. We have CMYK, orange and green. Say OK, and now a duplicate of the image will be created with the correct color information. So it's now in LAB, as you can see, it's a 16-bit image, but it shows completely the right color appearance. At the beginning, I made also a duplicate of our RGB and converted it to ISO-coded just for comparison. I have to switch on here the soft proof selection, again, simulate the paper color. And now, for example, you can compare the image converted from RGB to ISO-coded and converted from RGB to our 6th color flexo process. So as you see, it's of course much more saturated, that areas, and also much more, just go back to the RGB reference. Yeah, as you can see here. So ISO-coded is much more, not as saturated as our preview over here. So you can see here are the different channels. Of course, all the options with Photoshop are still available. And what we want to do right now, of course, is also, because it's a flexo process, we have to check the min dot and the min dot adjust. So what you may already mentioned in the plugin here, you have here the min dot preview. So we go on min dot preview, and we can set now a value which we know from the plate making department. Okay, this everything below 4% is critical. So please show us in that image, inclusive the two spot color channels, which areas are problematic. So for magenta, cyan, orange, also for green and yellow, we see now the areas which are highlighted here are the areas below or on 4% tonal value. Okay, we know that, so we want to adjust it, and therefore we go on min.adjust. We have there now 4%. We have different options over here. We can remove everything between 4% and 0, or we can set with clipping. That means everything between 0 and 4 is set to 4%, and set with curve is more smooth. It's also set everything to 4%, but it's more smooth. I will show that in a graph some seconds, then you see what I mean. And also we want to preserve 0%, so the paper tint should not be affected in that case here. But it can be, depending on your image and how hard is your first printing dot. So the min dots are set to 4%. We see now with the min dot preview, there is not any longer any information below 4% tonal value. And yeah, that's now quickly the flexo tools explained. You can switch off the min dot preview again. And this is now an image what you can export and print in your flexo process. And this was now done in some minutes, converted from RGB into a 6th color image, inclusive that spot colors. All right, so quickly close my images over here because I have one more sample to show for you, but quickly I want to show you now over here that set with curve, because that's quite new also in our color plugin. So what you see here, the blue one is set with clipping. That means everything is just removed. It's removed, and so the blue line is removed. Everything until 4% is removed, so set to 0. Set with clipping is the red dotted line here, where that means everything is set up or above 4%, and the curve you see here is the black line, so it's more smooth. That's quite new in the color plugin. The next thing is the GMG channel changer. So that function allows you right now to also remove CMYK parts of an image. So here we work with CMYK image as a starting point. So the task in that case here, we separate the image from isocoated to a specific output condition with spot colors. So we want to convert now the blueberries here with a Pantone 285 and the black. We want to convert the shadow here below only with the black and the chocolate, and so on. So we have now different settings we want to use. At the end, this is what we meant also at the beginning. So we have a really high time saving when you do that conversions with the plugin here. Instead of doing that manually with all the proofs you have to print out and check against the reference, this is the same as with the extender here, but you can easily do that and don't need so much experience in image manipulation as usually in the industry right now. So of course we want to see that. Switch back into Photoshop, and I have that image prepared here for you. So right now, as you can see on the right hand side, this is a CMYK image, and we want to convert this now into different kind of spot colors. So we have already prepared selections. You can also work with selections here as used. So we start now with the blueberries here. We want to convert them. We use now the channel changer, not the extender, the changer. And we have here a project, also Flexo Blueberry Chocolate Mini Strip. It's also taken now from OpenColor. Our source color space right now is ISO-coded. And we have those 4 colors on our press. So black is, okay, it's black, but then instead of cyan, we have such blue. Instead of red, magenta, we have the red, and instead of yellow, we have a special yellow. Now you would say, okay, this is quite similar to CMYK, but this really also works with complete other colors. Just to reproduce something, it has to build up a color space. So we start with the blueberries, and instead they've been now converted, or they are now in CMYK. We want to convert them now only with two colors. We want to use the blue and the black to convert them directly. So the profile is taken from the background, and as you see right now, there is now the blue channel over here, the Pantone 285 included into the image, and of course the black is still there, but there is no magenta and no yellow in the blueberries remaining. All right, we also want to convert the chocolate. The chocolate we want to convert with three colors. So again, I selected the chocolate sequence here. We go on channel changer, and the chocolate we want to convert with the yellow, with magenta and black, no blue. Also the profile is taken from GMG Open Color, and quickly also the chocolate area is converted. All right, only the shadow is remaining, so we also want to select the shadow. Therefore, we have to select the inverse here, and we want to, that's in case of process stability, what we've seen at the beginning of the webinar, a very common thing that you want to reproduce the shadows not out of CMYK. So maybe I go back quickly. So you see when I go on CMYK, you look on the right top here, you see the CMYK values, you see, okay, they are really built up of CMYK completely. We want to convert them right now only in our output black directly. So it's also done in some seconds. And now there is no cyan anymore, no magenta and no yellow into that image. Of course, as said, Photoshop does not show the spot color properly. We need our open color preview. We select the correct project over here. We see there is no cyan, magenta, yellow anymore. It's black and our three Pantone colors. And we can create now an LAB image for a preview. So inclusive paper tint and all the correct colors. So previously there was the question in the previous session, where does the spot colors come from? Of course, that spot colors are all saved in our different open color projects. So that's the open color projects I have. So for example, there's also that kind of project, or here's another project. So they are coming from open color, and there is my real information about my printing process. So the characterization, and at the end, our separation profiles. So this is coming from open color. All right, so this was now quickly in 30 minutes. It was really nearly on time. We have a bit time left. I want to show you something what you can do also without open color. It's really interesting for you when you want to do that 30 days trial. We also already have some questions regarding the 30 days trial. I already want to mention it at the end of the session. But May, there is the question, really, yeah, what to do if I not have open color yet? No problem. What is really cool, so check right here now, we check again. I've switched back to the beginning on that image, and I want to check again the different channels. So this is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And maybe also for your jobs, really cool is to just remove one channel. So typical also in chocolate images is you don't want to have cyan. Right now, we have here cyan in that area, as you can see also on top. Easily, you can remove the cyan part by just clicking here on Channel Remover. Then say you don't want to have cyan here, say OK, and the plugin calculates in the background a profile. And this is very quickly done. If we now deselect that area, but just look on cyan, you see there is no cyan anymore, but the visual appearance, the color appearance is the same. So that you can already use the channel remover on site with your images during that 30 days trial if you not have open color yet. Okay, now I've been a bit quicker because that's not a slide. As some of you already mentioned, at the moment there is a 30 days trial version available of our GMG GMG ColorPlugin. You can download it online from our website, or you can download it also here in the Go to Training window on the under Materials. You find the link where directly the download will start of the installation setup package. Otherwise, go on our website, just quickly here, go on Products and Color Plugin, scroll down to the bottom, and there you find also the trial buttons. Directly a download will start, and you can install it as an extension to your Photoshop version. But also we will have a reminder email after that webinar for you, where you can also download now the version, of course. When you downloaded it, there will be a small fill-in form where you can start then the trial 30 days. Also, if you have further questions also regarding maybe a trial license of OpenColor, you can also write an email at info@gmgcolor.com or see our website regarding further contact details. From my side, because I'm responsible for all our trainings for the very spontaneous people here in the round. 12th of June, we have here in Tübingen one training with some places left regarding the topic Fit for FOCRA 51, 52. So for the new standards, they're now since some years on the market. But what's the main topics regarding having OBA in the production? What's the new measurement modes? What's the new light conditions? That's all in that training on 12th of June. So check our website if you are more interested here. Also on the materials side, on the right hand side, you can directly find a link where you come on the training sites Fit for FOCRA. Also, we have in October already planned our October sessions here, color management basics, and from test print to characterization. So how to make and prepare really test prints, bring on test strips on your test prints for the printers. So when you use OpenColor, this is very important that you know how to do that test print part. And at 11th of October, we have then the OpenColor workshop. Consider also, if you already register, you as a webinar participator today, you get a 20% discount if you register until the 13th of June. Just a small info for you here. But you find all the trainings on the right-hand side also there. All right, now I have a lot of questions in the chat window. I mentioned beside of my presentation. I cannot answer all of them. I will check if I can pick out some of them for you. Okay. You have for all the technical issues for the 30 days trial demo. I will lead that up and bring that to our order management. They will follow up. No problem here. Does it make sense to use channel changer to see an alternate ink sequence? Yeah, you can also use the channel changer to visualize when you changed, for example, the ink sequence on your press. So you had, for example, the blue before the magenta, and now you change it. You can also simulate it directly in the channel changer, no problem. So it's a cool way to do that. So ink sequence changings could be simulated in Photoshop directly with the plugin also. Okay, some cost question. Okay, there's one question. Can you show me please how to make chocolate from 2 brown? Okay, yeah, a lot of questions here. I can't answer everything. Maybe the last one now I got here is, can we add spot colors to a 4-color characterization in OpenColor instead of doing another press profile? Yeah, that's an OpenColor question, but you also can add spot colors without having a complete test print. This is possible. For that, I will advise check also our other webinars regarding OpenColor, or also check our training regarding OpenColor. So there are opportunities to use spot colors, for example, from the Pantone library directly, or you can today also measure only small solid areas on your print sheet and add them to your characterization. All right, so as said, I hope I can answer the question then after the session directly with you in form of emailing, because we already over time. But from my side, I showed you everything I want to. So what is left is thank you very much for your attention. Hopefully you liked it. Also, there's a follow-up email tomorrow. We always like to get some feedback regarding our webinars, and hopefully we see you soon in the future in one of our trainings or somewhere else in the industry. Have a nice day and bye-bye.